Hi, hello, and welcome. Last two videos la we have discussed prose works in the age of Chaucer. So now we are moving on towards the age of revival. So before getting into the topic, it is very important to know about what really happened during this age, especially in accordance with religion. So religionல என்ன நடந்ததுன்னு கண்டிப்பா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். The three important points I want to discuss. The first one is this is the time. So age of revival. So after the death of Chaucer, so Chaucer died in the year 1400. So 1400 la the age of revival start ஆகுது, and the age of revival ends till last till 1550. So the 1400, that is in the beginning of the 15th century. So in the time la there are more number of people from Britain. They are starting to explore various nations. So இதனால they could have easily contact with other country people, and so that they could facilitate the religion. So the spreading of Christianity is happening. So this is the first point. And the next point is the other important one is till 1500s, that is 100 years. 1400லேருந்து 1500 வரைக்கும் மட்டும்தான் இங்கிலாந்து வந்து இட் இஸ் பீயிங் a Catholic country. So after 1500s, it is becoming a Protestant nation. So like that's a difference between Protestant and Catholic. So that will be while we are discussing the writings of the prose writings of the various authors, you could have a can have the proper understanding. And Reformation. So Reformation happened during this age. So how Reformation happened means it is like not. So whenever we say Reformation, we should remember Martin Luther. So apart from Martin Luther, there are various other Protestant reformers also. Then so they like the reformers, they've they brought Christianity. They tried to bring reformation in the religion. And it started with the publication of 95 thesis. It is not thesis, it is thesis. Theses. And the work which was published in the year 1517. So this is the very three important points you need to have note of it whenever we discuss on reformation, and also with age of revival. So with that discussion, we shall move on to the very first prose work, the reprisal of over much blaming of the clergy, which is written by Reginald Peacock. So Reginald Peacock, so he is a Welsh prelate. So what is Welsh prelate? So Welsh means it's a place in England. Wales is a place in England, and Welsh is the language. A prelate, it's a bishop, and he is a scholastic who teaches about philosophical, that is mainly Christian philosophies by various fathers, forefathers in Christianity. So he used to teach that, and also he's a writer. So his time period is between, so அவரோட time period பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 1395 இருந்து 1461 வரைக்கும் இருக்கு. And Peacock, he was probably born in Lahan. It is a town in Wales, and was educated at Oriel College, Oxford. He was ordained priest. So he's been ordained priest in 1421. And also he secured a mastership at Whittingham College, London, in 1431. He was also parish priest at Saint Michael Peternazer Royal. I'm sorry. So parish priest அப்படின்னா in like ஒரு பிளேஸ்ல that will be a church, and that church will be entirely responsible for the entire place. So that is called parish, and he acted as a priest there. And on June 1444, he was consecrated, or he was declared as Bishop of Saint Asaph, and transformed as Bishop of Chichester on 23 March 1450. So Chichester, it is no longer a church, it is a cathedral. So cathedral, which means there's a difference between a chapel, a church, and cathedral. So chapel is a very small church, it's a church like ordinary church, and Chichester, the cathedral, means it is a very big church. And 1454, he become a member of the privy council. So privy council என்னது அப்படின்னா who will be who will be working under the king, so who uh, under the monarchy especially. So he will give a formal advisor. So whatever the king is taking the decision, privy council member, they have to give suggestions and advice. ஸோ இப்போ அவரோட ஒர்க்ஸ்லாம் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பார்த்துக்கிட்டிங்க அப்படின்னா, பெடகாஜிக்கலா, அதாவது எப்படி வந்து லைக் த வே ஹவ் டு டீச், ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இருக்குது. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ பாலிமிக்கல் நேச்சராகவும் இருக்குது. பாலிமி அப்படின்னா வந்து கைண்ட் ஆஃப் கான்ட்ரவர்ஷியல் திங்ஸ். ஓகே, ஸோ கான்ட்ரவர்ஷியலாக நிறையாவும் எழுதியிருக்காரு. ஸோ இன் so his pedagogical books, in which he proposes a holy catechism. So what do you mean by catechism means? So it is about a set of questions and answers that are used for teaching about. So this is also about teaching. It is only about teaching about the beliefs of the Christian church. So whatever the doubts, the questions, if it is asked, and how the answers has to be given. So that kind of teaching is called catechism. These books include the donor, the follower of the donor, the rule of Christian religion, and he joined the debate on Christian doctrine. So he joined the doctrine through the books, namely Repressing of Over Mitch Witching the Clergy 1449. So this is what that we are going to discuss now. And Book of Faith, which is written in 1456. These were both more cogent means like whatever the people believe. So what people accept, or what people trying to say, it is expressed through a book. So cogent than the Lollard tenets, and sought to stay the Lollard movements by setting aside ecclesiastical infallibility and taking the appeal to scripture and reason alone. Okay, so here he is joining hands with Lollardism. So Lollardism, follower of John Wycliffe. So those who the people who followed John Wycliffe, and it is a kind of like John Wycliffe, who is the forerunner for Protestant Christian religion, and also who was the very basic for the English Reformation. It was principally Peacock's appeal to reason and his attack on the primacy of episcopal authority, for which he was deprived in 1458. In addition to its great importance in the history of Lollard movement, the repression has an exceptional interest as a model of the English of the time, Peacock being one of the first writers to use the vernacular. In thought and style alike, it is the work of a man of learning and ability. So, this particular work, that is repressing of overmuch wittying the clergy, it is being edited and published by Churchill Bambington for the Roll series in 1860. So we could find the sources and the contents, the clear elements in English. So everything we can find in the Churchill Babington's edition. So that will be very useful for us to have clear understanding what Peacock has written. It is a two-volume work. And now I'm talking about the translation, that is the edition done by Churchill Babington. So it is a two-volume work. It is valuable for both religious and linguistic history, since it is using vernacular language. A vernacular text written in a period of division within the church and widespread popular religious discontent. It provides a record of the arguments that fueled this division. It recounts the attack made by Lollard reformers and provide uh, well composed answers to them. So whatever attacks done to the Lollard reformers, so there were people, there were certain uh, group of people following John Wycliffe and also Protestantism, and he is in support of that. So whenever something reformation is initiated, there will be lot of attack on them. So he is through this one, the repressor of over much blaming of the clergy. Through this work, he is giving answers to them, and a firm believer in papal supremacy. Peacock insisted on proving doctrine by reason, a position which laid him open to the charges of heresy that dogged his career and eventually led to his disgrace. So due to that reason, since lot of the people in the country were still following Catholicism, he was considered to be a heresy, one who is one who is acting against religion. So for that reason, he was led to disgrace. Volume 2 deals with the ranks and degrees of clergy, papal statues, authority, and religious orders. It also contains related contemporary text in Latin, both attacking and vindicating. So there are a lot of works in Latin. So in volume 2, so now I'm talking about Churchill Babington's edition. Okay, so the original text was edited and reworked and translated into English by Churchill Babington. So sorry, in previously it was written in vernacular Middle English. Now Churchill Babington in 1860s, he has written in the English at that time. It also contains related contemporary text in Latin. So not only about Peacock's work, this particular work also contains there are a lot of contemporary works, contemporary Latin works which directly attacks Peacock. These include John Barry's answers to the repressor, Gladius Salomonis, and a report of Peacock's eventual downfall and abjuration, his ending. So everything is discussed in the volume 2. So next we are moving towards Le Marte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Mallory. So Sir Thomas, the death of the death of Arthur. So to say in English, it is the death of Arthur, the revoking of traditional tales by Sir Thomas Mallory about the legendary King Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot, Merlin, and the Knights of the Round Table. So these are the important characters in this particular work. It was first published in 1485 by William Caxton, and and this today it is considered to be the best known work of Arthurian literature in English. So about Sir Thomas Mallory. He is a layman. So layman, which means a non-ordained male member of church during the medieval times in England. He was born in Warwickshire, England, in 1416. He's a landowner. 1441, he became a knight. He married Elizabeth Walsh and had a son named Robert. He inherited an estate from his father and became involved in the politics of Warwickshire. 1444-5, he served in British Parliament. 1450, he started committing crimes including armed assault, murder, theft, rape, and extortion. He was imprisoned in Colchester but escaped and soon after robbed Cistercian monastery, which means the place where monks used to live. So this is Cistercian monastery. He robbed the place, and he wrote this particular work, Le Marte d'Arthur, in prison. So that is a very interesting fact here. Around 1469 to 1470, he completed Le Marte d'Arthur. He died in prison on March 14, 1471. Le Marte d'Arthur was published by William Caxton on July 31, 1485. So this book was particularly written while he was in prison. And the another thing is he also fought in 100 Years' War. So that is also, since he is a knight, he fought in 100 Years' War. So that is also one of the interesting fact to note about Sir Thomas Mallory. So let us start to discuss on particular work, Le Morte d'Arthur. It is a 21 stories or also books, 21 books. The tales which take place during the Middle Ages narrate the various quests of King Arthur and his knights of the Round Table. So first of all, it is very important to know about the very interesting symbol in this particular work, that is the round table. So the round table, which means it is like it consists of 150 chairs, and the king and every knight sit in this round table. So this shows that there is no hierarchy. So for that reason this round table system was brought. And also that there always there will be one seat left, for the reason that this seat is left for Judas, who is uh, who was who betrayed Jesus. So for that reason, always one chair in the round table will always be left. So this is one of the very important symbol in this particular work. So all the knights in the round table. So every knights one or the other seems to be important in this particular work. Each of the stories contains. So it is a medieval romance. So if we take medieval romance, these are the important characteristics we can found. One is hero's quest, predictable plot. So we can predict the plot, what will be happening next, or what will the end of the story like this. The hero knight relationship. I'm sorry. The hero will be the knight. The admiration of women, the code of chivalry, how the rules for handling war, breathtaking settings, mystical animals, like the importance given to soul, mysterious characters plays important role here. So these are the characteristics of medieval romance. All these things you can find in this Le Mortier author. The hero knight is want to uphold the pillars of the knight code. So if we take the ஹீரோக்கு இந்த குவாலிட்டிஸ்லாம் கண்டிப்பாக இருக்கணும். அந்த ஹீரோ வந்து ஒரு நைட்டாக இருப்பார். He has to act fair play, that is he should not have should not do any wrongdoings. He should be very noble. He should be very honor, loyalty, valor. He should show braveness, and also he should show courtesy. He should show politeness. Okay. ஸோ பட் இங்கே என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா, இந்த கேரக்டர்ஸ்லாம் காமிக்கிறதுனால அல்டிமேட்லி the knights, the hero will be getting flawed. He has to break up his promise in one or the other way. அது நெசசரியாக பண்ண முடியலைனாலும் அது the situation leads to that. Okay, so because they are human, the flaw is revealed during. So the flaw in previously we have discussed, the night the hero used to have lot of quest, lot of findings. So adila vande he will find out why it is the flaw is done, how it is done. So everything is revealed. And the end of the question learns and grow from his experience. And the other important thing is, the hero, he will be born to his biological parents will be one, and he will be brought up with some other parents. So always he will be unaware of their identity. And also the heroes are big, since the heroes are knights. So Arthurian legendsல பார்த்துக்கிட்டே அப்படின்னா ஹீரோஸ் வந்து நைட்டாக தான் இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அப்போ வந்து என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா, they were physically and mentally ஸ்ட்ராங்காக இருப்பாங்க, intelligent driven and usually யங்காக இருப்பாங்க. So these are the characteristics of the heroes. La Morte author tells a story of a hero knight from his birth until his death. There are total of 21 books that make up the story, each organized into several chapters. Author is a kind and fair king who rules over the kingdom from his castle in Camelot, and is credited for a period of peace due to his. So during the time of Arthur, there is a very peaceful rule is going on. Arthur falls for the lovely Guinevere and takes her up as his queen. So Guinevere, she is the queen, but she betrays him by having an affair with Lancelot. So it is Arthur's one of knights in the 150. Out of 150, he is one of the knights in the round table. Arthur goes on number of quests, fights many battles, has many enemies, and until his death, he is successful in battle. Some of that successes. So Merlin is a very important character, a wizard who is always being with the knight, who looks after Arthur, and some is due to. So Merlin is one thing helping Arthur, and the other one is Excalibur. So Excalibur, it is not a character, it is actually a sword. It is so powerful. When he's having this sword, how much pain he can pain so much, he can endure so much of pain. So that kind of power he could have with the sword. And also he won't shed blood. So and due to lot of happenings, in the end Arthur is betrayed again by Mordred. They exchange blows, each mortal, and after being taken to the Isle of Avalon, Arthur is never heard from again. So அங்க வந்து அங்க வந்து லைக் மார்த்தர் வந்து காப்பாற்றப்பட்டாரா இல்லை என்ன ஆனாருன்றதே வந்து அன்ஐடென்டிஃபைடா இருந்துரும். பட் nobody will hear back again. So as soon as ஆர்த்தர் ஃபால்ஸ், ஸோ ஆர்த்தர் வந்து இறந்துட்டாரா என்னன்னே தெரியல. ஆனா ஆர்த்தர் வந்து திரும்ப அந்த கிண்டத்துக்கு வரவே போகிறது இல்லை. ஸோ when Arthur falls, so does his kingdom. So that is the end of the story. So, what is the theme? Code of chivalry, honor, love, power, betrayal, good versus evil, and equality that we have discussed in a round table. So, Arthur, he wants to show equality, but there are the people who are around him. They are showing betrayal and also showing their evil characters. So there are important characters other than Arthur. We have to know that Uther Pendragon, he is Arthur's father and king at the time of Arthur's birth. Igraine, Arthur's mother. Sir Launcelot, a great knight and the father of Galahad, raised by Lady of the Lake. Guinevere, Arthur's queen, who falls for Lancelot. Sir Gawain, Arthur's nephew, takes on the Green Knight. The Lady of the Lake, Lady of the Lake rises Lancelot and protects Excalibur, and the Excalibur will be handed over to Arthur. The Galahad, Sir Galahad, son of Lancelot, the purest of the knights, succeed in his quest for the Holy Grail. So, Holy Grail, it is the vessel, it is the cup used by Jesus Christ in the Last Supper. So, while in the quest, Sir Galahad will win in that. Merlin, a wizard who takes Arthur at birth to be raised by Sir Hector. Merlin protects Arthur and gives him advice. Mordred represents evil and deceit, plans to get rid of Arthur, and Morgan Le Fay, Arthur's half sister, and she is a witch. So, in the end, what happens in the end? Arthur is mortally wounded. So, till death, he was wounded by his brother's son, Mordred, who stabs him in the head with his sword. Arthur is placed in a boat and floated down the river toward Avalon. It is intended that Arthur will receive healing there. However, Arthur is never heard from again. So, this is the end of the story. So, like you may get, we may get questions like this way. So, what is the end? What really happened to Arthur in the end? Likewise, so for this thing, I have added this slide. So, it is one of the important things to note. Next one, we are moving on towards the New Testament by William Tyndale. So William Tyndale, born, his time period is between 1490 to 1536. He is the English biblical translator, humanist, and Protestant martyr. So humanist. One who is giving values to humanity. Tyndale was educated and a Protestant martyr. He died instead of following Catholicism, instead of accepting Catholicism, he died as a Protestant. So that is Protestant martyr. Tyndale was educated at the University of Oxford and became an instructor at the University of Cambridge, where in 1521 he fell in with a group of humanist scholars meeting at the White House Inn. Tyndale became convinced that the Bible should alone determine the practices and doctrines of the church, that all believers should be able to read Bible in their own language. So this is what the Protestants believe. So there is no other thing except Bible. So Bible and the cross. So that should be alone, should be taken for consideration and to believe in God. So that is what that is the doctrine of Protestantism. Because of the influence of printing and demand from scriptures in the vernacular, William Tyndale began working on the New Testament translation directly from the Greek in 1523. So this is in this time where he started to translate the scripture, the Bible. After church authorities in England prevented him from translating Bible there, he went to Germany. So he was not allowed to translate Bible there. So they consider only from Hebrew or Latin language should be considered a sacred one, not in English. So for that reason, he was not allowed to translate the Bible. He went to Germany in 1524, receiving financial support from wealthy London merchants. His New Testament translations was completed in July 1525 and printed at Cologne. Cologne is a city in Germany. Again under pressure, this time from the city authorities, Tyndale fled to Worms, where two more editions were published in 1525. The first copies were smuggled into England in 1526, where they were at once prescribed. The New Testament, which was got published in 1534, it generally refers to the body of biblical translations by William Tyndale into early modern English, made between 1522 to 1535. Tyndale's Bible is credited with being the first Bible translation in the English language to work directly from Hebrew and Greek text, although it relied heavily upon the Latin Vulgate and Luther's German New Testament. So Martin Luther has written in German, and he has taken notes from there, and he has made use of the source from there, and also Latin Vulgate's Bible. So not only from Greek and Hebrew, he has relied upon Latin Vulgate's language Bible, and also from Luther's German New Testament. And it was the first biblical translation that was mass produced as of new advances. So uh, William Caxton's printing press was initiated during that time. So for that reason, that is in the 1419. So for that reason, it was produced mass produced as a result of this printing press. So as soon as the New Testament was finished, Tyndale began work on the Old Testament. The Pentateuch was issued in Marburg in 1530. The Pentateuch, which means first five books, was issued in Marburg, so that is in Germany, in 1530. Each of the five books being separately published and circulated. Tyndale continued to work on the Old Testament translation but was captured in Antwerp before it was completed. And also, he is also condemned for heresy. He was executed by strangulation and then burned at the stake at Wilwood in 1536. At the time of his death, 18,000 copies of his New Testaments had been printed. However, only two complete volumes and a fragment remain today. So, though 18,000 copies were spread all over the country, but still there were only two complete volumes and a fragment it is found in London's British Library. Tyndale's greatest achievement was the ability to strike felicitous balance between the need of scholarship, simplicity of expression, and literary gracefulness, all in a uniform dialect, so every one other can understand. So that is what the interesting element in the Bible translation. The effect was the creation of an English style of a Bible translation, tinged with Hebraism, which means not only he was just directly translating from Hebrew or Greek, he has also used some of the interesting or important Hebrews idiom and phrases, so that he has originally incorporated. So that is Hebraism, that was to serve as the model for future English versions of nearly 400 years, beginning with the King James Version Bible in 1611. So till 1611, William Tyndale's Bible has marked very important one. Thank you.